Okay, so in your third video, I want to highlight the rev phase, rev and the race squeeze phases of the throw. So the video on the left is your final throw from the session, and the video on the right is your first throw from the session. So you saw this in your first clip as well, the base that you start from, ball position, much better on the left than it is on the right. Now, we talked about our stride already, our drive and break phase, and you can see again, if you look at that, with these two in mind, you can really see the difference of how you're much more behind your foot on this one, and this one you're really on top of it. Okay, so you're in a better position on the left than you are on the right. We're still working to improve it, but it's already improved a bit from the first session. Moving into the rev, race, squeeze phase. Okay, so the rev is the separation of the front hand from the football and the scooping or taking back of the ball. So we want to try to separate our hands. We call it equal and opposite, which you're doing a good job of here, okay, on the left. On the right, you can see where you're almost sort of just pushing up, and you're really not getting much of a scoop action. You're getting yourself to that vertical L position, which we see here highlighted like this, that vertical L. Okay, you kind of almost just put yourself to that position and go from there. On the left, you're getting to that vertical L, but you're passing through it as a position, a stop along the way, instead of starting from there, which is a good thing. So the rev allows us to build and create momentum with our arms to generate arm speed. When you allow that power from your lower half to essentially catch your arms traveling along the correct path with speed, now you pick up velocity and power through the course of the throw. So again, just looking at the video on the left, okay, we're doing a pretty good job here. When you rev, you want to think equal, opposite with your arms. Okay, so we're doing a pretty good job here. You're slightly off track, and really the issue is your elbows. So if I look at your rev, I would say that your elbows right now are leading the movement. Okay, what I mean by that is if you look at both of these elbows, as soon as you separate the football, it's the elbows that are flaring out and up. We want to think about our hands being what separate and take us to rev. So that bend that you still have, that tight bend in the elbows, we can let that loose a little bit and let that football extend a little bit beyond, so that you end up at a slightly wider than 90-degree angle when you rev. Right now you're very tight. It's a very tight angle. Okay, which is you don't hurt yourself too bad with this, but we can get into some trouble if we don't extend a little bit more. Let me re-explain that. We can put ourselves in a better position to be efficient if you can extend the elbows just a little bit more. But with all that said, you still don't do too bad of a job here. But our deal is if we can get the rev going, equal and opposite. Once we get to that point, now if we extend our hands more, and put ourselves in a little bit of a better rev position, you now have a much easier time transitioning into that race and squeeze phase. Okay, the squeeze is pretty easy to do on the front. It's the race on the back. Now your elbow gets to just below your shoulder, which is a good thing. Okay, see that elbow is slightly below the shoulder. We are okay to be even lower, which is why I say if you think about the hands taking you to rev and not letting the elbows get up on you at all, you're going to actually have your elbows starting from a lower position, and you'll have an easier time racing low to high. Here, you're at a slightly higher position, and you'll see what happens is you're going to end up climbing up and over the shoulder. So here's your elbow. Elbow is quite far above the shoulder. Okay, so what happens is your rev from here is going to end up taking a more of a climbing path up and over the shoulder. Once you go up and over the shoulder, your throw now becomes a downward throw. Sorry, a downward. Okay. So right now you'll see once you go up and over, the throw now becomes more of a pulling down effect on the football. And you can see that on the right hand side, you really get high with that elbow. Your elbow is way taken off, way up high. and you're definitely pulling down on that release. You can even see on the right, the point of the football is pointed downward on that. You can see that spot right there, the downward trajectory. So we want to try to improve that by taking a better elbow path and thinking about getting the elbow above the shoulder, but not until it gets to the front side of your body. So go back to the left frame, and if you can get your body low to high and end up driving that elbow just above the shoulder on the front side of your body, you achieve maximum efficiency. It's when you try to get it above the shoulder on the back side too far is where you get yourself into trouble. And you're close here. You're absolutely close. The more you get this, the better understanding you have. But definitely a better release. You can see the point of the football still slightly tilted down, but way better on the left than it is on the right. Okay. Last thing to mention is your front arm. When you rev here, now what I call the squeeze. So it's taking that front side elbow and squeezing it to the body, to the front side of your body, just below the left chest plate, rather than ripping it to the side of your body. Okay, now on the right hand side, in the beginning, you really don't utilize your arm at all. So it sort of just rolls over and it just sits out there. We want to take it and really activate that elbow along with the race, because now you work your elbows together in tandem and it helps to speed up the race and attack of that elbow as well. On the left, you do a better job of it. I would describe your squeeze here as you're doing the squeeze, but you're not using the squeeze. So you really want to try to attack this squeeze with as much speed right now as you want to drive with the forward racing elbow, throwing elbow. And once you do that, you're going to feel how much more velocity you have on the football. All of this begins with rev, with the speed of rev. Right now, I want to get after it quickly, as fast as I can separate my hands as possible. The last thing to draw your attention to with rev is the front hand and the front foot. I don't want to start my rev until the front foot touches the ground. So as soon as that foot makes contact, the balls of the feet make contact, that is the time that I want to separate your hands. And that's going to help, again, create much faster speed on the rev and the separation of your hands. Okay, so I'll come back with another one on the next video.